I think English, but you can mix lah. Yeah,
Right.
not so stringent.
Okay, can. No problem. How many are you expecting?
I'm not sure. Wait a minute.
Okay, no worries. Right. We are starting at 2 kan?
Yes, correct. So we're expecting around 50 participants.
Okay, ramai juga lah. Okay lah, not bad. Sorry, I'm a bit mengah sikit berlari kan, nak naik rumah.
It's okay, take your time. Kita ada lagi.
No worries, no worries. I'm fine now. Sekejap, aku pergi ambil air sekejap. Nanti once you
Boleh,
start,
no problem. Okay.
Hello everyone.
Hi,
Hello,
Hello, everyone.
My name is Adam Haris Merudi Johan.
my name is Aizat.
I'm Lukmi Shri Murugan.
My name is Misha Bara, 21 years old, and I'll be answering a series of questions for bridging the gap between the youth.
And financial struggles.
Event with IUMW Finance Club.
So for the first question is, what do you think about your financial situation at the moment? As of now, I think I'm in a pretty stable position because I'm still a student with little to no liabilities, and the fact that I'm living with my parents' help. So yeah.
My financial situation currently is in average, not too low and too high. I'm not facing any financial hardship at the moment.
All I can say is I did a pretty good job handling my money because I'm a shopaholic, but I still managed to save some of my money and still spend. You know, like I still can buy. I can still reward myself, but at the same time, I have the amount of money that I can save.
Okay, so I would say that I have quite a comfortable financial standing as of now as a student. I have no commitments as I'm still living at my parents' place.
Second question, are you currently facing any financial hardship? Well, not really. I have a few backup accounts for different occasions that I've credit it every month for certain amounts in every account. So whenever I'm having emergency or financial hardship, I will just use the backup money.
No, as of now, I am fortunate not to have any financial hardship. My parents do give me some pocket money for me to buy food, pay for my car's fuel.
Personally, for me, Alhamdulillah, as I said before, I'm living with my parents, so I'm not facing any, and I'm very, very grateful for that.
Third question, is your family facing any financial hardship? How does it affect you? As of now, my parents and my family is not facing any financial hardship. However, I do realize that there are others that are facing severe financial problem, especially at times of a pandemic.
Thank God, my family and me doesn't involve in any commitments till now, and we are never facing any hardship for financially.
Okay, for this, I feel like every adult in this country, or perhaps even in this world, is affected very, very bigly, mainly due to the pandemic, obviously. My parents are included because they own their own company, and due to the continuous lockdowns, MCO rules and regulations here and there just keep on changing. It's very uncertain, and the projects for the company just continuously on halt. So it's very uncertain whether they can actually operate or not. And the fact that they own their own company, that means they have to pay for the employees just to retain them, and it's very, very hard for them. And it affects me because, as I said, I am living with them, so it's hard for me to just see them, kind of like struggle to make ends meet, but they don't show it. And the fact that I am with my other siblings still living here, yeah.
It does affect me because I'm still under their care. With the pandemic taking places, my dad have to make a tough decision and sell one of his business because it is hard to maintain it any longer with this time around. So he have to sell it, and the action affect my allowance. He have to reduce the amount that he gave to me monthly. So with the reduction, I also have to berjimat lah. So it does affect me. Do you have any form of income? For now, I only receive my studying allowance and that my parents gave me monthly and from some investment platform.
Yes, I do. Currently, I am undergoing an internship. I do receive allowances every month.
No, hopefully soon, but I do receive monthly allowance from my parents to pay for my food and my car's fuel. Okay, fifth question. Do you usually have money left at the end of the month? Yes, I have money at the end of the month after spending enough for my own spendings on the month itself, because I don't believe in spending the money until it's finished. And I don't have any emergency fund kept for myself.
Alright, hello everyone. Good evening and welcome to another event brought to you by IUMW Finance Club. I hope everyone here today is doing well and staying safe. Now, without further ado, I would like to invite our guest speaker for today, Mr. Fairuz Izwan.
Hi
Hello, Mr.
everyone.
Fairuz.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. Alhamdulillah, I'm good.
Okay, Alhamdulillah. Okay, so before we get started, we actually have a series of questions that we'd like to ask you, sort of to get to know you a little better. Is that okay?
Yep, it's good.
All right, so let's see. So the first question, having graduated with a degree in electrical and electronic engineering background, what made you decide to pursue a career as a youth banker in Maybank?
Right, so this is a very interesting question. So having the background of engineering, I was very passionate in robotics back then. However, at that point of time, robotics wasn't something that Malaysia was very much focused in. At that point of time, the country was very much promoting entrepreneurship for the youth. And I was decided at that point of time, I wanted to try something new because robotics wasn't something that I could see anymore within the country. So what I decided was that, my mom is a banker and my dad is an engineer. So I had both influence. At that point in time, I was choosing engineering, but then I decided, you know what, why not give banking a try? So I did try it out, and alhamdulillah, that's where I am today.
I see. All right. Okay, so the next question. How and when did you get interested in financial literacy and acquire the knowledge?
This is a very interesting question. So honestly speaking, a lot of the people from TikTok, the one that saw my TikTok, they always assume that this guy is financially literate from birth. Since he was born, he was good with money. But that was not the case. Honestly speaking, I was very much interested in financial literacy, in how to improve myself financially when I first got my paycheck. Right, the first moment I've gotten my paycheck, I was very much stumped. What do I do with this money? I'm still living with my parents at the point of time. I was like, this is a lot of money. I don't know what to do. I don't have a lot of desire at that point of time. So I was very much confused what to do with the money and how can I plan for my future. I wanted to get married, but then I don't have any money, so I have to figure out how do I do this. So at that point of time, I decided to research a bit more about financial literacy, and since I was working with the bank, we've got a huge amount of people that could actually help me at that point of time. So that's where I started, and alhamdulillah, this is where I am today.
All right. Okay. So the next question we have for you is, what were the challenges faced in applying for a job in a different industry from what you have graduated from?
Right. So so coming from engineering, the mindset has always been, how can you venture to a different field? It must be quite difficult to adapt to a different field. I would say yes, it is very difficult to adapt to a different environment, to a different field. But I would say this: number one, the company that I entered, Maybank, was very much receptive. So it doesn't matter you daripada course apa, as long as you have the passion and you are interested in learning in the banking field, you are always welcome, right? However, saying that, although the bank welcome you, you still need to have the capability and capacity that the bank requires you from lah. So that's the biggest issue that I had when the first time I entered the banking field. So the challenges that I had, honestly, it's the banking and economics understanding. So coming from engineering, I'm good at tinkering stuff, but when it comes to banking stuff and economic stuff, I was like, oh my god, what are they talking about? I remember the first 3 months in the banking world, the banker kept talking about OPR lah, this product, that product, murah bahah, murah dabah. I was like, what are you guys talking about, man? I was so confused at that point of time. But what I did at that point of time is that I searched for mentor. And I found my mentor at that point of time. It was one of the leaders I met in the bank, and I asked her, can you give me like an extra class after working hour? So she told me, yeah, okay, let's do this. So I thought the class is going to be short, like 20 minutes, 30 minutes class. But it's a 2-hour long class, almost every day for 3 months, including homework. It's like a university all over again, but after working hours. So it was crazy, but I had my fun. And honestly, it really, really, really pushed me to become the banker that I am today. So I'm thankful for that.
All right. Okay. So the next question: what prompted you to have a personal goal in educating the youth in Malaysia on understanding banking product and improving their financial literacy?
Personal goal, right? This is the reason why I wanted to educate the youth is because of my own personal experience. So the moment I received my salary, I received a numerous amount of pressure. The moment I received my salary, the first pressure that I received is, of course, social media, right? The moment I received my salary, I tengok, wah, kawan aku pergi bercuti dekat sana, gaji salary dia, my friend is buying this house, buying this car. So that's the first thing that I saw. Second thing that I saw, the pressure that I received was from my parents. My parents is like, you're a banker, you're pegawai now, officer now, you should buy this car, you should buy this type of house. So that's the second pressure that I was like, this is really, really something that's, that I'm struggling with at that point of time. And then the third pressure that I realized that it's, aside from social media, aside from my parents, I've also received my own internal pressure. From all of this pressure that I'm receiving, I'm internalize my own pressure, my own stress. I was like, I can't be doing this, man. I have to achieve. I have to be somewhere in this life. I can't be, stagnating where I am right now. So then I realized that, let's take a step backward and see what's the real cause. That's when I realized that the issue is that a lot of people don't have a good understanding of money, and they don't have the patience to grow. Right. So that's the reason why when I realized my own issue, what I'm facing, I realized this doesn't just happen to me. It happens to almost all the youth in Malaysia. And this is not just the influence and stress. Because of this influence and stress, a lot of the youth are making the wrong decision. For example, my parents actually pushed me to buy a Honda Civic using my first salary. If I were to take that decision, Honda Civic would cost me 60% of my salary at that point of time. It doesn't make sense for me to use more than 50% of my salary for a car. Even more than 30%, even more than 15%, it doesn't make sense, right? Because I wanted to get married, I wanted to buy a house, I need more money rather than just paying the car. But that was the pressure that was given by my parents. Imagine I was able to put that down to, to avoid that decision? How about other youth that are not able to, go against with what their parents wanted? So that's the reason why, my personal goal. I wanted to educate as many as possible. I wanted the youth to understand, there are more things in life. I understand that there are pressure outside there, but there are ways for us to ensure that we don't succumb to this pressure.
True, very true. All right. So now the last question: how do you come up with ideas on your social media content?
How do I come up? Right. The moment I started this, honestly, is because I was boring. I am not gonna lie. I was a bit bored when MCO happened. Because when MCO happens, a big chunk of my portfolio within the bank was reduced. It's about, I work a lot with the campuses on business relationship. But since campus tutup, so I don't have a lot of things to do. So when that happened, then I realized I have a lot of time. What do I do with this time? I was a bit bored at home. And then at that point of time, TikTok comes in. Then I was like looking at this, and then I was inspired by certain content creator outside there that were educating the public through social media. I was like, oh my God, this is a very, very good thing. So I started my social media. I mean, if you scroll through my TikTok, the earlier days of my TikTok, it's all videos of me dancing for financial literacy, like then some pop-up keluar, financial literacy stuff, then lagi satu keluar. But then I realized that I'm not good at dancing, and then I got criticized for it, mostly by my wife. She told me that I can't dance, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take this criticism, positively, and I try to shift my content to a different direction. So now you can't see me dancing a lot, but all my content is about me, talking about certain topics. So that's how it shifted. And now, honestly speaking, my work is starting to, the load is starting to be there. Little by little, it's getting increasing. But my content in terms of TikTok, I try to record it on the weekend, one day, either Saturday or Sunday, and then I compile it for the rest of the week. So that's what I did.
I see. All right. So personally, I've watched your TikTok videos, and I think I've actually learned a lot, so much from just your TikTok videos.
Thank you so much. That's nice to hear.
So thank you so much for sharing with us a bit about yourself. So I think now's the time for me to pass the floor to you, the moment that we've all been waiting for Mr. Fairuz to talk to us about financial adulting. So Mr. Fairuz, the floor is yours.
Right. So let me just share my screen for a bit. All right. Can you see my screen? Is it sharing my screen? Okay, nice. Now, thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm very thankful to IUMW. You guys did a wonderful job. The start of this event was very smooth. I enjoyed the whole introduction. Today I wanted to speak about financial adulting, a bit on the surface level of how you can become a financially responsible adult, little by little, of course. These are the steps that I have personally crafted that I can share with everyone. However, be reminded, a lot of these are on the surface level. There are more things that you need to do. You have to run your own research afterwards. You have to sit down and really think about your whatever decision that you wanted to take in the future, right? But before that, let me just guide you guys through the basics and how you guys can ensure that you guys can become a financially responsible person, inshallah. Okay, now, as you can see on the screen, thoughtful financial planning can easily take a backseat to daily life. This is actually very true. I realized this the moment that I've already planned out my financials. So bila you dah plan betul-betul kan, what you need to do is just execute one by one. You don't have to have the headache to decide what's more in the future, right? So that's the benefit of a proper financial planning. Now, today, what I'm going to be guiding everyone through is these 8 steps. It's very simple. Some of them are very cliche, but some of them, the reason why it's very cliche because it's the greatest truth out there. And this is, some of this might be a reminder to you guys, right? Because I understand, bila kita cakap pasal financial planning ni, surprisingly dekat Malaysia, anak-anak muda sekarang makin lama makin hebat bagian duit. Kadang-kadang some of their question, even better than my own knowledge. Right, because I had a lot of sessions this past weeks. There's a couple of students that came to me, Abang Fairuz, ada tak tweet pasal futures. I was like, oh my God, you're so young, you're already trading futures. You got some good skills there. Right. So the youth are getting more and more skillful in regards of financial planning, especially in regards of investment. But today I'm here just to guide you guys through these 8 steps. If you have any questions, after this we're going to have a Q&A session. But before the Q&A session, stay tuned because I'm going to be having a short activity whereby you will get a chance to win a Starbucks voucher worth of RM20 ringgit. Kalau you bernasib baik lah, tak semua orang akan dapat. Okay, number 1, the first step is invest in yourself. This is the cliche part of this topic. Whenever you heard any financial planner, any financial advisor, benda pertama dia akan cakap, oh, always invest in yourself. What the hell is invest in yourself? Basically, you have to read personal finance book, investment book, but I wanted to go beyond than that. Right. So the first thing that I wanted to address, hold on. Sorry, my wife is watching Bollywood besides me, so it's kind of disturb me while I'm trying to explain this. She watched Bollywood besides me. Sorry for that. Right. So what I wanted to address here for invest in yourself is 2 things. Right. Number 1 is invest in yourself ni dia tak limited kepada personal finance and investment. It involves anything that you wish to upgrade yourself. For example, kalau you ada sedikit duit, right? For example, you have $100 remainder every month. Instead of putting this 100 ringgit into an investment, into a savings, why not you use this 100 ringgit to buy new books, right? To enter that workshop, you know, to do something with this 100 ringgit to improve your skills. For example, I've always wanted to join a cooking class. Even until now, I wanted to join a cooking class. But because I'm already working, it's hard for me to find time to enter that cooking class. But since you guys are student and you guys have the time, why not, if you guys have the interest, explore that skills. For example, if you have interest in cooking class, enter that cooking class, you know, learn how to cook. Even right now, I'm a bit regret, you know, I have this regret I did not enter that cooking class because I can't properly cook for my wife. I can at most cook, I don't know, basic pasta or basic Maggi, that's it. So this is a skill that I think you guys need to have, right? So you, apa-apa skill you nak buat, ambil. This is the best time because as a student, you still got time, right? Time is on your side. Second thing that I wanted to address is clean up your social media. This is something very important. Right now, you guys, the biggest influence with you guys is not your parents, it's not your friends, it's social media. And depending on the type of social media, the type of content that you guys are consuming, it will impact your life either for the better or for the worse, right? So if you are watching a lot of people dancing on social media, I mean, if you guys are watching me dancing across, you know, financial literacy stuff, it's fine. But if you guys are watching a lot of, you know, half-naked guys or girls outside there dancing, then it might not be proper, right? So, you know, always filter your social media. I'm not saying that you have to exactly filter all those, but you know, like the content that is worthwhile, right? You know, follow people that motivates you, business leaders, you know, financial influencers, follow them. You know, you never know what kind of knowledge and tips and tricks you might be getting from them. There's a lot of educational content creators in TikTok, in IG. Follow them, you know, step up yourself in that direction, right? Rather than follow benda-benda yang negative lah. Okay, anything toxic or negative, remove it part of your life. All right. So this is the first thing, very simple. Okay, as you can read from there as well, you can follow financial influencers such as Casey Lau, Suraya Zainuddin, Mr. Stingy. Right. So for example, like Suraya Zainuddin, she's a very famous person in regards for financial empowerment for the ladies. So I do suggest for you guys to follow her. You guys could also follow Mr. Stingy. He is the director of a cryptocurrency exchange in Malaysia, which is Luno. Follow him as well. He got a lot of wonderful advice, not just financial advice, but life advice as well, right? Okay, next. So the first milestone that you guys have to achieve, if you guys can do this before you graduate, is even better. But if you guys wanted to do this right after you graduated, it's fine as well. All right. The first milestone you guys should set is save 1,000 ringgit. It doesn't seem a lot, but it doesn't seem too much either. Okay. 1,000 ringgit is your first step. This is your first milestone. All right. The first milestone is very easy, but I do not want you guys to achieve this 1,000 ringgit just for the sake of achieving this 1,000 ringgit. You guys have to use these two main tools to achieve this 1,000 ringgit milestone. The first is expense tracking. The second is budgeting. Okay, run a proper planning and track the plan that you have in order to achieve that 1,000 ringgit. All right, that's the main idea of achieving 1,000 ringgit. It doesn't make sense if you achieve 1,000 ringgit, but you did not build the habit that could actually help you a bit further in the future, right? So the reason why I wanted to educate my audience on budgeting especially is because you need to show your money where to go. You do not want to let your money show you where to go, okay? There's a difference. Kalau you tak start, channeling your money, telling your money where to go, your money will tell you where to go, okay? How does that work, Abang Fairuz? It's very simple. Imagine you have 400 ringgit this month and you never plan your money where your money is supposed to go. By end of the month, the money is always finished and you always wonder, mana aku spend duit ni ah? It's because you never plan, you never tell your money where to go. Sometimes duit tu bocor, tiba-tiba MacD, tiba-tiba movie, tiba-tiba that, tiba-tiba this. It's because you never tell them where to go, okay? And how to tell them where to go? It's very simple. Do budgeting and do start track your expenses. If you do this, trust me, your financials will get really, really good, right? One of the first things that I did when I first graduated is that I started to track my expenses. But since I graduated back in 2016, I tracked using Excel. That was, at that point of time, it was Excel. Oh my God. Excel so leceh because you have to key in one by one. It's not graphically nice. It's so hassle. Sometimes you have to calculate back again. So much hassle, right? But then I started to shift towards Money Lover. Money Lover is an app. You can download the app. But you have to manually track your expenses. But still a very good app. Tapi lepas tu, since Maybank keluarkan the Me app can automatically track your debit card and your credit card expenses. Then I drop all other app because I'm a Maybank user. I use the Me app, right? And the Me app as well, the one good thing is you can also manually track your expenses. Okay, maksud dia kalau macam contoh, you nak spend dekat kedai makcik goreng pisang. Makcik goreng pisang ni tak guna debit card. Takkanlah kau nak bayar credit card kat makcik goreng pisang ni kan? Doesn't make sense. Aku tak pernah jumpa makcik goreng pisang ada credit card punya terminal. So it doesn't make sense. So you have to pay by cash. So the Me app actually allows you to manually inputkan whatever cash transaction yang you dah buat ke dalam app tu. Okay, so that's another good thing about the app, right? Have a try. So let me show you how the app looks like. So this is how it looks like, yeah. So you can see that down there, it is sorted by the categories and it's sorted by the amount, and you can manually add expense there. There's a button there, add expense. You can manually add that in, right? So that's a good thing about this app. Give it a go, all right? Next, this is the part that I told you just now is about budgeting. So what is budgeting? So budgeting is very simple. The very famous budgeting method in the world is known as 50, 30, 20. Some of you guys might heard this. So this budgeting method is introduced by Elizabeth Warren, a political economist in the US. Okay, so she's very famous. She introduced this method, budgeting method untuk rakyat-rakyat di US. However, it's applicable all around the world. Problem is, I don't agree with 50, 30, 20 untuk anak-anak muda di Malaysia. The reason is because if your starting salary is low, how can you expect to use 50, 30, 20? It doesn't make sense, right? Imagine if your starting salary, you work in a corporate world, but you're working as a protege trainee or as a slim trainee before this. Protege trainee earns 2,000 ringgit. So if you're living in KL, 2,000 ringgit, and you're using 50, 30, 20 rule, 50% daripada 2,000 ringgit ni you guna untuk your bills, your utilities is not going to be enough because you have rent to pay, you have transportation, you have your makan minum, it's not going to be enough. And then 30% is for the things that you need, which is for example your makan minum, maybe nak kasih balik kepada your parents, is not going to be enough as well. Right, so that's why I don't recommend 50, 30, 20. 50, 30, 20 is a method that you could only use once you have enough salary. And how much is enough? I would suggest you can use this method once your salary reach 3K dan ke atas. then it makes more sense. Okay, because if you're living in KL especially, but if you're living in the rural area, you can try it out, it's fine. Okay, now one of the budgeting method that I've always recommend untuk anak-anak muda to start with is something called zero-based budgeting. This is a very flexible method of budgeting. Okay, how does it work? So you need to write down your monthly income. For example, if you have 2,000 ringgit, write down your 2,000 ringgit and then write down your monthly expenses. For example, makan minum, rental, transportation, giving back to your parents, charity, write down everything and then assign the amount. Okay, for example, I wanted to assign 400 ringgit for my makan minum this month. I wanted to assign 100 ringgit to give back to my parents. I wanted to assign 300 ringgit for my rental. I wanted to assign 200 ringgit for my transportation. It's flexible. You can assign however much, but this is how you tell your money where to go. Okay, and then stick with that budgeting method. But always remember to always include in savings and your investment as well. Okay, so you can decide however much you wanted to save. It doesn't matter, but as long as you start. Okay, most people contemplate how much should I save? How much? Is this enough? Is this enough? Lepas tu tak buat. Don't contemplate too much. Just do it. Okay, that's what's missing with most of the people nowadays, right? So zero-based budgeting method, a very, very simple method. Once you've already assigned the task for each of your ringgit, then you start tracking your money, okay? Remember, zero-based budgeting is as simple as assigning tasks to your money. Assign job kepada 100 ringgit you. Assign job kepada the last 1 ringgit, okay? It's as simple as that. Down to the last 1 ringgit, you assignkan tugasan kepada setiap duit you, right? Okay, next. Next, you have to understand also how to tackle high interest debt. Now, I'm going to give you this analogy, this situation whereby banyak anak muda tanya, Abang Fairuz, I dah graduate dan I ada 1,000 ringgit. What should I do with this 1,000 ringgit? Should I invest or should I pay off my debt? It depends, okay? It depends on the type of debt that you have. If you have a credit card debt, pay off your credit card debt first and then invest. The reason is because you always have to check how much is the amount of the interest rate for that debt. If credit card debt in Malaysia, they have 18% interest rate. It means that if you owe 1,000 ringgit to the bank, the interest is 180 ringgit. However, if you invest the same money, 1,000 ringgit, if you can get 15% return, you're only getting 150 ringgit. So it makes more sense for you to pay off your credit card debt. But like I said, it depends on the kind of debt that you have. If you have, for example, PT-PTN debt, PT-PTN is 1% ujrah. So does it make sense to bayar PT-PTN first or invest first? It makes more sense for you to invest, kan? Sebab PT-PTN the rate is so low, right? So that's the reason why you have to understand as well. In this world, there are bad debt, there are good debt. Okay, a bad debt is something that doesn't give back to you. It's something that sucks the life out of you. For example, like credit card debt. Okay, and a good debt, for example, is something that gives you benefit. For example, it could be your education loan debt. Okay, and it doesn't suck the life out of you to pay out the education debt as well, right? Now, after understanding interest, what you have to understand next is credit card. Now, although what I've said is now credit card have a very high interest in Malaysia is I think 18%. And for your information, Malaysia punya credit card debt is only max 18%. Okay, some other countries, for example, in the US, it can go up to 24%. You imagine if you owe 1,000 ringgit, you have to pay back, if you pay late, you have to pay back a quarter of that debt in interest. That's a lot. Okay, Malaysia, we are not as high. Alhamdulillah, I'm quite thankful to Bank Negara, but 18% is still a very high amount, right? Now, I'm going to teach you guys how to use how to apply and use your first credit card. I know a lot of you guys are still students, but you have to remember this in order to fully utilize credit card in the right manner. So credit card is not a bad tool. It is just a tool. There are no bad or good things about credit card. It's just a tool. It can become bad if you are not disciplined. It can become good if you are disciplined. Okay. The first thing you have to do in order to apply a credit card and make use of a 0% interest credit card. Remember, a 0% interest. credit card can actually give you money instead of taking money from you. And how do you do that? Is number one, always find a zero annual fee credit card. How do you know what's a zero annual fee credit card? Ask the sales advisor. Usually the sales advisor would always recommend something with fee. Ambil lah this credit card. You boleh dapat travel point daripada Asia. But then tiba-tiba akhir tahun they ask you to pay $300 because of the whole cards punya benefit. You don't want that type of card. Always say no to that type of card. Okay, if the sales agent missell you, then you can ask them to cancel the card and apply a credit card with zero annual fee. Right? That's the first thing. However, you have to bear in mind, a credit card with zero annual fee means that the benefit is a bit lesser to the card that you have to pay the annual fee. Right? But the method I'm telling you is good for beginner. Dan nanti bila you dah jadi kaya sikit, you nak ambil credit card yang berbayar setiap tahun, that one is entirely up to you. Alright? Now, choose a zero annual fee credit card. That's very important. Okay? The only fee that you have to pay annually is sales service tax. That one is, we cannot avoid lah. It's a tax by the government. It's RM25 per card. Okay? Next is, you have to learn on how to use credit card properly, which is pay off the credit card within 20 days. Okay? You swipe, you pay. You swipe, you pay. What you don't do is you take your credit card, you swipe, you wait until the end of the month, and then you pay. And that will definitely brings you interest. Okay? Treat credit card like a debit card. Okay? Remember, treat credit card like a debit card. You swipe, you pay. Okay? Pay dekat mana? Pay dekat, kalau if you're a Maybank customer, go into the app and then pay off directly in the app. Alright? As simple as that. Now, there are many things good about credit card. For example, like myself, because I always utilize credit card, every month, the bank actually gives me money instead of taking money from me. Okay? The bank hate customer like me because they gave me credit card and I'm taking money from them. I've actually got, honest to God, if you can see my credit card statement, akan ada satu charges di mana bank akan bank in dekat I RM50 almost every month. Sometimes it's not 50 lah, sometimes it's 20, 30, but almost every month I will get a max. Okay, they will not bank in this money to my savings account. No. So the cashback yang I dapat daripada my perbelanjaan melalui my credit card, they will actually put it back into my credit card statement. So it means that my next purchase will have RM50 discount. Okay, so that's how it works. Because a lot of people ask me, Fairuz, I use my cashback, but why did not I get why I didn't get my cashback? You actually get it, but not to your savings account. Okay, so bear in mind. So remember, credit card is a good thing if you use it wisely. Next, some credit cards actually have different benefits. Credit cards, you have to actually find ways to find a credit card that according to your preference. Because if you find a credit card according to your preference, you will use that credit card more. Then you will get, if you use it wisely, you will get more money from the bank lah. Right? So what kind of preference do you want? You want a fuel credit card, you wanted a travel credit card, you want a cashback credit card, you want groceries credit card. Credit card apa yang you nak guna, yang you boleh maximize? For me, I take an Islamic credit card. Kenapa Islamic credit card? Certain Islamic credit card, they actually give back to charity. So that's another thing that I like. 0.1% of my spending, they will give back to charity. And since I work in Maybank Islamic, I actually saw the charity funds from this credit card. They actually will use this money that they'll get from this credit card, they'll actually put it to charity. So I'm quite proud of that. Since I'm working with Maybank, I pun bangga lah sebab I guna that card. Every time it gives 0.1% back to charity, and then I get to see the money being spent to charity. So Alhamdulillah, that's something that really enjoy. I really enjoy looking at it, right? So these are some of the ways that you could use credit card properly. Remember, 0% annual fee credit card, pay off within 20 days. And if you wanted to make use, if you wanted to buy big purchase item, contoh, you wanted to buy television, you just masuk rumah baru, you wanted to buy a television using the credit card, and you can't afford to pay a big lump sum amount within 20 days. Then there are two options. Either you take the 0% installment plan. Sebab kalau you beli dekat Sengheng will say, do you want to use 0% installment plan? It means that you use your credit card, you pay that RM2,000 for that TV, and that RM2,000, they will divide it into 6 payments with 0% interest as well. Okay, that's the first method. Second method is, if not that method, then you can just pay more than the minimum. At least if you pay more than minimum, the interest that you will get hit is not as high. Okay, you instead of paying 100 ringgit, pay lah 200 ringgit, or maybe pay lah 150. Okay, pay more than the minimum, right? Now, those are about credit cards. Let's see the next one. Number 4, emergency savings, right? So emergency savings is something that's very, very, very important, right? Especially untuk anak-anak muda, a lot of you guys did not have emergency savings. A lot of you guys, including myself, was that you straight jump into investment. Semua terus ke Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, semua terus ke investment. Nampak? Ada yang gelak-gelak tu aku tahu sebab korang terus buat benda ni kan. Okay, now let me say this. If you want to go straight to investment, it's fine. However, you have to understand the risk. Okay, cryptocurrency have a very, very high risk. Okay, if anything happen to your money, is for example, right now Bitcoin is on the rise. Alhamdulillah lah yang buat duit. Tapi kalau jatuh, lepas tu you hilang 70% of your money, then you don't have any money. What's going to happen at that point of time? Right? At least you guys are still a student right now. You guys are still fine. Imagine, I have a personal case, a case that's very close to my heart. When MCO started, I have this one friend of mine. Dia ada business. This guy punya business is basically doing a science show at the school. Okay, but when MCO hits, his business went down lah because sekolah tak buka. Right, so he lost his business. Number 1. Number 2, all of his life savings is in the stock market. And to make it worse, when MCO hit, the stock market crashed. So he lost 70% of his money in the stock market. Okay, that's the second thing that happened. Now, to make it worse, he doesn't have any emergency funds. So because of all his life saving is in the stock market. And he had to sell his car. He had to go back and live with his parents. And even until now, my friend did not recover. Because it's very, very, very difficult for him to recover. Okay. Now, imagine if this friend of mine ada emergency funds. At least he could survive for the next couple of months until he's able to kickstart other business or other form of employment. Problem is, kerja pun dia tak ada, lepas tu duit pun tak ada, he had to go back to his parents' place. And his kesian lah parents dia. Okay, because tak ada duit emergency langsung. Okay, this is something that's very close to me. I tried to help my friend by getting him a job to work within the bank, tapi tak dapat. Susah sekarang. Okay, that's why I very much emphasize you have to have an emergency funds. Okay, emergency funds is very important. For now, you guys are still secure because you guys are still students. Tapi imagine once you guys already have a family, you guys already have a wife, you guys already have a kids. You need to have an emergency funds, especially for those yang dah ada dependent. Okay. Now, how to start an emergency funds? Very simple. The rule of thumb is 3 to 6 months worth of your salary. Okay. However, these are for those yang dah start bekerja, yang masih lagi single. Tapi kalau yang dah ada family, dah ada wife, dah ada kids, dah ada husband, you need to have 6 to 12 months worth of your salary. Okay. Tapi kalau you masih lagi student, macam mana? Then you can try save 1,000 ringgit first, macam I cakap tadi. Okay, as simple as that. Now, dekat mana nak simpan emergency funds? Do not ever put your emergency funds in the stock market or in cryptocurrency. Okay, I tak nak nanti some of you guys telling me I dah ada emergency funds dalam Bitcoin bang. No. That's not your emergency funds. That's your investment. Okay, that is not an emergency fund. Don't lie to yourself. Okay, don't lie to yourself. Don't lie to me. That's not an emergency funds. Okay, emergency funds is something you put in somewhere safe. How do you define safe? Safe, it means that something that is not volatile. Okay, hari ni tiba-tiba emergency funds kau 10,000. Esok turun Bitcoin jadi 7,000. Lepas tu turun lagi jadi 3,000. Minggu depan naik jadi 15,000. That's not emergency funds. That's gambling. Okay. So bear in mind, emergency fund is somewhere you put, for example, in tempat yang risiko rendah. For example, we have ASB, tabung haji, high interest savings account, low risk unit trust, robo-advisor, a low-risk portfolio robo-advisor, money market funds. There's a lot of low-risk funds outside that you could put your emergency funds in. Some of these funds actually give you money 4 to 7% a year. That's good enough, right? Next, dekat mana lagi, apa lagi yang penting pada emergency funds ni? You have to put somewhere easily accessible. Easily accessible. Maksud dia, kalau contoh, you letak dekat stocks market it will take you up to a week for you to access your money. Is it accessible? It's not. The reason why it's called emergency fund is if it's something emergency, if emergency happens, you can take out the money as fast as possible. Okay? Contohnya tiba-tiba kereta mati tepi jalan, takkanlah dekat situ kau nak cairkan kau punya stock market kan? Memang seminggu lah. Memang tak bawa kereta lah kau seminggu kalau kereta kau mati tepi jalan. Okay? So what's important is this thing is accessible as fast as possible. Okay? ASB, tabung haji, low risk unit trust, all of these are quite a fast access that you could get your money from. Okay? And of course, one thing that you have to understand as well, you don't expect to build your emergency fund dalam masa, bila you dah bekerja, dalam masa 3 bulan dah settle, 6 bulan dah settle. No, it's a constant effort. Even until now, I haven't completed my emergency funds. Why? It's because you have to revise your emergency funds every year. Okay? Bila gaji you naik, your emergency funds pun naik. Okay? Because your emergency fund doesn't stay stagnant. Kalau gaji you naik pada 15,000 sebulan, then 15,000 darab dengan 6. Berapa? That's the amount yang you kena kumpul. Okay? It's a constant effort. Every year revise. Every year revise. Okay? That's the reason why you have to put in the low risk funds. At least it will give you some money. Right? Okay, next is protection. So protection, I'm not going to talk a lot into protection. This is self-explanatory. For protection, this is what I did. Okay? When I was still a student, the only insurance I'll take is personal accident. Personal accident means that if anything happens to me, I can claim. Simple as that. I jatuh motor, I boleh claim kat personal accident, insurance I dapat 1,000. Okay? That's personal accidents. Right? It's very cheap personal accident. Paling murah I pernah dengar, paling mahal berapa? RM300 setahun. Setahun paling murah RM200 setahun pun ada. Okay, it covers you, it covers just yourself. Okay, that's good enough. Secondly adalah when I first started working, I ambil medical card. When I first started working, I ambil medical card. Kenapa? If you wanted to go to hospital, you don't want to pay using your own money. It doesn't make sense. You wanted to outsource in case that hospitalization cost is expensive. So that's the reason why you take up medical card. Okay. Thirdly, is insurance yang I ambil bila I berkahwin. And what is that? Life insurance. Okay. If anything happen to me, my wife will be compensated. Okay. Kalau I mati sekarang, contohnya tiba-tiba bangunan aku duduk ni roboh, aku meninggal dunia, my wife will get 500,000 ringgit coverage. Okay, at least I secure my loved ones. Okay, life insurance, you have to remember, life insurance is not an insurance to just cover yourself. It's basically to cover your loved ones if anything happen to you. Okay, sebab you have to be reminded, bila you meninggal, actually lagi banyak consume duit daripada bila you hidup. Sebab apa? You nak kena bayar legal process, you nak kena tanam, you nak kena kapankan, you nak kena upah orang untuk sembahyangkan untuk you, untuk mandikan untuk you. All in all, it can cost you up to 50k easily. Okay, it's very, very expensive if you die. Okay, that's why you have to secure yourself in case if anything happen to you, your loved one is compensated. Right? So that's the 3 types of insurance yang I ambil. Personal accident when I was still a student. PA ni, I ambil sampai sekarang. Because if anything happen to me, I can claim at the PA. Secondly is medical card. I ambil once I graduated. So whenever I go to a hospital, I don't have to pay. And thirdly is that I take up life insurance. Once I'm married, I make sure that my wife is fairly compensated. Okay. Next, the favorite topic. Investment. Now, untuk anak-anak muda, I've always recommend for you to start investing in these funds first. I know some of you guys might disagree with me because every time I had this session, especially the youth would always, bang, saya invest kat cryptocurrency. I invest in Dogecoin, which is nothing wrong. Honestly speaking, I applaud your effort because you at least have the financial mindset of wanting to grow your income, which is something good, which is a very, very, very good behavior. However, what I'm here to showcase is that there are more funds in the world rather than just cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is trendy right now because it's something new, something uncharted. And even I myself invest in cryptocurrency. Bila dah capai 200,000 harga Bitcoin, hari tu aku terus liquidkan sebab dah lebih daripada 40% untung. Alhamdulillah. Which is good, which is not a bad thing, which is a good thing. Tapi you have to bear in mind, cryptocurrency is very, very, very risky. Now, there are more funds outside there that's not as highly risk as cryptocurrency. For example, the low risk funds we have, ASB, Tabung Haji, REITs. Some of you guys might be interested in gold. For example, the ladies are very much more interested in gold. You can invest in gold. Okay, for example, Maybank, kalau you interested invest in gold, you pergi ke, if you have Maybank to you right now, you go to Maybank to you website, you apply for a gold account I, Maybank Islamic Gold Account I, you register, within a couple of minutes, you dah dapat account emas, you boleh beli emas. And beli emas dekat Maybank is extremely cheap sebab sekarang ni baru buka, untuk our customer is really, really cheap. And then you boleh, dah lepas 10 gram, you boleh minta dia deliver that gold to your house as well. Kalau deliver emas dekat rumah you, lagilah you suka kan. The ladies like to collect physical gold rather than tengok je dekat screen. I understand because my mom is the same way as well. Okay, so other than that, we have fixed deposit, we have robo-advisors. Robo-advisors, kalau dia punya low risk punya portfolio, it's something that's very good for you to try out as well. Okay, remember, low risk investment is not something to scoff at. Although the return is small, you have to understand why is the return is small. The return is small because the risk is small. Why the risk is small? Because it's designed for a different purpose. Okay, you can use low risk investment, for example, for your emergency funds. You can use low risk investment, for example, to diversify your portfolio. Not everything is about cryptocurrency. Don't put everything in cryptocurrency. Yeah, be careful. Even I myself, I only put 2% of my net worth in cryptocurrency. 2%. Aku cakap 2% lah. Awal-awal aku letak 2%. Bila harga kripto naik, dia jadi 10%. Alhamdulillah lah. So that's the advantage of crypto. Alright. However, crypto is very good, but you just have to bear in mind it's very, very, very risky. Okay, because yang you dengar banyak orang yang buat duit. Actually, from my side, I dengar banyak orang yang tak buat duit. Banyak orang yang tak buat duit sebenarnya yang beginner lah yang tak buat duit. Dia letak lambat, lepas tu dia tak buat duit. Yang budak-budak yang buat duit ni alhamdulillah lah. Yang tak bawa duit tu semua senyap je. Okay. Now, let's go on to the next one. Okay, now, if possible, I wanted you guys to do this survey or this quiz. This is a risk tolerance quiz, whereby if you do this quiz, it will tell you what kind of investor are you. It's basically your risk profile. Okay, by doing this survey, you will get to know whether you are an aggressive investor, moderate investor, or a conservative investor. So, what does it mean by having this profile? So, kalau you aggressive investor, it means you are like me. You are a very, very aggressive investor. It means that you always wanted to invest in something very high risk and very high return. That's your attitude. For example, my attitude is like this, yeah. So, bila cryptocurrency harga dia turun, I invest. Bitcoin harga dia turun, I invest. Harga dia turun lagi, I invest. Harga dia turun lagi, I letak lagi duit. Kenapa? In my mind, that's a discount. In my mind, what I can see, although the graph turun, it's a discount. It's a full-on discount. I don't see it as a loss. Okay? However, some people might see it differently. Okay? The reason is because why are you seeing it differently than me is because you have a very different risk profile. I have a very aggressive risk profile. And because I have a very aggressive risk profile, I'm very much suitable to invest in a very volatile market. For example, stock market, cryptocurrency, because I'm a very aggressive person. Okay. However, if you're a conservative person, do not invest in cryptocurrency. As simple as that. Why? Nanti you guys tak dapat tidur malam. Imagine if you put like 100 ringgit or 200 ringgit in cryptocurrency. Trust me, that night you wouldn't be able to sleep because in your mind, you were like, oh my God, what's going to happen to my money? What's going to happen to my money? Is it going down? Is it going up? Every day you will check the app. Hidup you jadi tak tenang. Why? Because you are investing in a platform that's not suitable for your behavior. If it's not suitable, then don't do it. It's as simple as that. Okay, no amount of money in this world could actually pay your peace. Peace is priceless. To be able to sleep at night without thinking what happened to your money is priceless. Don't always think about growing your money with the sacrifice of your own mental health. It's not worth it, right? So that's the reason why you have to understand your risk profile. Now, some of you guys might ask me, kenapa risk profile I tinggi? Okay, now let me say this. The reason why your risk tolerance could be very aggressive, your risk profile could be very aggressive is because of number one, age. 93%, according to our survey, 93% of youth actually have aggressive investment profile. It's because, alhamdulillah, you guys are young and you guys have a long time horizon. So you guys are always willing to take on more risk. Usually when you get older, your risk tolerance akan berubah. If you see the older ones, right? Trust me, you try to ask your mom and dad untuk isi this survey. Okay, your mom and dad almost all of them would get conservative. I tried so with my dad. My dad is super conservative. That's why although I told my dad I've gotten this amount of cryptocurrency, I told him that, hey, I dapat 40% return daripada Bitcoin. My dad mati-mati tak nak invest sebab dia takut nak invest sebab turun naik tinggi. Okay, so it depends on the type of profile that you have, right? Now, these are the checklists that you need to do before you start investing. Okay, there are 5 checklists here. This is very important. Okay, I know some of you guys have already started investing, but it's fine. Okay, you guys can backtrack and try to check all this checklist. Number 1, you need to understand your self-assessment, your debt, your expenses, your cash flow. Because the reason why you need to do this, you never want to invest the money that you need to use, okay? Always remember, always invest your extra money. You do not want to invest the money that you have to get extra money, all right? Invest your extra money. The mindset of investing is that, kalau I guna duit ni untuk invest, this is the money that I already label as something that I don't need. Okay, that's the mindset. Because if you put high expectation, you dapat duit, sekali tiba-tiba you tak dapat duit, again, your mental health gone. Okay, you do not want to do that. Okay, always invest your extra money. That's the first thing. That's the reason why you have to understand your own financials. Second thing, like I mentioned, always prepare an emergency funds. Okay, in case anything happen to your investment. Thirdly, you have to understand your risk tolerance. Alhamdulillah, everyone that does just now the risk tolerance quiz, you guys already understand your risk tolerance. So you guys already know investment apa yang you guys boleh buat, apa yang bersesuaian dengan you. Right? Number 4, when you wanted to start your investment journey, always have a goal. Okay? Always have a goal. This is very important. Now, banyak anak muda I sedar bila I tanya, kenapa you invest? Saya nak jadi kaya bang. Saya nak kembangkan duit. That's it. Then, kenapa kau invest? There's no purpose. There's no real purpose. I just nak jadi kaya. There is no purpose like, I wanted to use this money as my marriage fund. I wanted to use this money to start my side business. I wanted to use this money to buy my first car. There are no real purpose. Okay? You have to define, why are you investing? Keep investing. When are you using the money? Life is not just about growing your income. Life is about experiences. It's about finding new things. You know, it's about enjoying life itself. You're not living if you're just trading and investing. Okay? You have to understand that. Life is about spending. Probably, I can say yes. The harsh truth is life is about spending, right? Whether you like it or not. In order to enjoy life, you have to spend. Now, you have to understand your investment goal. Okay? For example, the first year I started investing, I actually put a couple of goals that I wanted to achieve. The first goal is that my ASB fund is treated as my emergency funds, ASB 1. ASB 2 is treated as my tabung kahwin fund. Okay? And then my Wahid Invest, my robo-advisor, is being treated as my business capital fund. Okay? And then my tabung haji is for my pilgrimage and pilgrimage and haji funds. You have to understand why are you investing. If you do not have a purpose, you do not know when to actually take out the money and use. Okay? Now, last but not least is develop your strategy. Once you already have your goal, you bolehlah letaklah how you wanted to achieve that goal. Berapa ringgit you nak masukkan, dekat mana you nak masukkan, what's the risk profile that you are expecting from this. Okay? All of this combined into one would develop you to become a veteran investor. Okay? Life first big purchase. Okay, this is going to be a bit of a long topic kan. Sebab whenever I talk about this, especially the marriage one, dia jadi panjang sikit. Right. There are three main decisions that you will take in your life. Right? Is your first car, your first home, and your marriage. Not your first marriage. You have to hear me clearly. Banyak orang bila dia buat summary, Abang Fairuz cakap first car, first house, first marriage. No, it's just marriage. I'm not condoning multiple marriage here. I'm just saying marriage. My wife kat sebelah I, bahaya. Okay. Okay, so now let's go with the first one, car. Now, car is a very important topic untuk anak muda. Now, I have introduced myself just now. The pressure of me buying my first car, which is Honda Civic at that point of time, but I decided not to buy. I buy a Myvi instead. Right. So, as you can see on the screen, this is the comparison between if you buy a Honda and if you buy a Myvi. Now, I've already included in the list of all the things that you have to pay within 1 year, either by monthly or by yearly. Tapi I dah separatekan benda yang kena bayar by yearly, I dah separatekan by monthly supaya you boleh nampak. At least you can see a bit better. How much does it cost to own a car H? This car H is specifically Honda Civic. Honda Civic is 110,000 ringgit. Okay. By the end of the year, if you're earning 3,000 ringgit, you are using 67% of your salary to pay off your Honda Civic. This include maintenance, parking, toll, minyak, everything into one. Okay, if you own a Myvi, that's how much it will cost. 40% of your salary. That is still quite high. Okay, now you have to make the right decision on your first car. If not, you are going to suffer for the next couple of years. I'm not going to lie to you. You are going to suffer for the next couple of years if you choose the wrong transportation. Because I have a lot of my friends salah buat decision. Especially my friends yang dapat gaji tinggi bila graduated. Okay, I understand. Sometimes you wanted to show off to your friends, hey, I got a good job. I got a job that actually I earn 4,000 ringgit a month. Lepas tu beli Honda Civic sebab nak show off dengan kawan-kawan, you dapat kerja bagus. That's not the right method, yeah. If you do that, memang you nampak grand depan kawan-kawan you, tapi you are paying a lot actually. So, kalau you nampak any of your seniors pakai Honda Civic, lepas tu setakat kerja, management trainee, trust me, they are burning through their money. Okay. Now, the rule of thumb to buying a car is very simple. Number one is that whenever you wanted to buy a car, always remember you have to buy a car within the price range that you can that you can afford. And what are the price range that you can afford? It's the money that you're having right now, your monthly salary times 12. If you're earning 3,000 ringgit, 3,000 ringgit times 12 equal to 36,000 ringgit. What are the car that you can buy within 36,000 ringgit? Probably it's a second-hand car, probably an Azia or a Viva, probably a basic Myvi, okay, probably a Saga, a Beza. That's the price of the car. That's the type of the car that you can afford based on your salary. Okay. Now, some of you guys might ask me, Fairuz, I'm interested with I'm a car hobbyist. Car is my thing. I really love car. I wanted to buy a Honda Civic using my first salary. Lepas tu dia cakap lah macam-macam dia nak afford. For me, this is your personal preference, and this is your personal finances. When you talk about money, it's personal to everyone. Not everyone would have the same capacity and the same spending behavior. If you wanted to afford your car, contohnya cakap, I nak afford this car based on my salary, boleh tak? The answer is always boleh. It's always boleh. But it depends. What are you willing to sacrifice to own that car? Are you looking to get married within the next couple years? If you're not yet married, lepas tu if you're thinking to get married within the next 3 years, and you expect to buy a Honda Civic with a 3,000 ringgit salary, you're not going to get married in the next 3 years. That's all I'm going to say. Okay? You have to set your mind. If you bought this car, you are sacrificing certain things in your life. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying you can't. I'm saying that if you want to afford a good car, you have to understand what are you letting go. Okay? Simple as that. Now, next. So this is about car. Very simple. Next is about marriage. Now, marriage is something that's very new to me because I just gotten married bulan 11 last year. But these are some of the things that I did yang ramai orang kata macam, I never actually thought of that. Okay. Now, the first thing that I did with my wife, currently my wife, before this was my girlfriend, we actually set up a money talk. Okay. You actually have to normalize money talk with your partner. This is very important. For those yang dah ada boyfriend, girlfriend, you need to sit down and talk with your partner. Okay. Money is a very sensitive topic. It's a very, very, very sensitive topic. Okay. Everyone have their own ego about money, but you have to break down those ego. Okay. What I did with my wife is that we set up a money date and then we had that money talk. And how does that money talk work? We start with something very simple. We start with, kita orang nak kahwin tu. I already proposed to her. So we discuss about where are we, how are we saving our wedding funds. Okay. Berapa banyak wedding funds dia dah ada, berapa banyak I dah ada, nak simpan dekat mana. Perlu tak buat joint account untuk simpan duit ni sama-sama? Or are we investing that wedding funds? This is all something that you have to discuss. But this is something very light. Very casual, very light. It's not that intense. Okay? And then you have to talk about your life goal. Dah cakap pasal kahwin, okay lah. Then next you have to talk about your life goals. Okay? What is your partner planning to achieve in life? Is he or she planning to, for example, travel to a certain part of the country? Or is he and she is planning to build a business? Okay? Or how many kids are you planning on having, and by what age is the kids that you wanted you wanted for your first kids? Okay, all of this is something part of your life goals you have to nail down. For example, like what I did with my wife is that I told her I wanted to travel to all Disneyland before I'm 50 years old. Okay, because I wanted to relive my childhood. I wanted to become Prince Charming. It's something that I really, really wanted to do. Okay. It's just my own personal life goal. And when she heard me, she was like, you know what? I like your life goals. I wanted to be part of your life goals. You see? So when you explain your life goals together and the financial part of it, now I have my wife wanted to accompany me through my life goals. So you can either achieve it together or you can find ways to help each other to achieve your life goals. Right? And then the last topic that's a bit more intense is your debt. Now, this is very intense. Now, what happened with me and my wife at the point of time was that it's a very intense session. My wife actually had a lot of debt, and her debt is a credit card debt. Okay, credit card debt, that's a lot. It was a very intense session. She was very sad because she got a lot of debt. But then I told her, I explained my situation to her. She explained her situation to mine. To me. So what happened was that, you know what, I can't pay off her debt. I'm not that rich as well. Tapi kalau you jumpa suami ataupun isteri you yang nak bayarkan you punya credit card debt, alhamdulillah lah. That's rezeki daripada langit lah. Everyone is going to love that. Okay, nobody is going to say no. However, at that point of time, I cannot afford to pay off my fiance's credit card debt. Okay, because I wanted to collect my own business capital funds. I wanted to have a good wedding as well. Then I told her what I can do is that I can help support her. Okay, from giving moral support to giving a physical reminder. So what I did was that every time, end of the month, every time she received her salary, the first thing I did is that I remind her, dah bayar credit card ke belum? Dah bayar credit card ke belum? Jangan lupa bayar. And then when she received her bonus, I was there to support her. Bonus, jangan lupa, pak ke debit card dulu, pak ke credit card dulu. Okay, That's how you can support your partner if you are honest about each other's debt. Okay. The reason why you have to be honest about your debt to your partner is, like I say, it's not just to help pay your partner's debt, because you have to understand, you are living together. You wanted to live together forever and ever, like a fairy tale. Tapi financial tak nak tackle. Okay, not everything is like Disney movie. It's all, flowers. No, it doesn't work that way. There are nitty-gritty things that you have to tackle as a couple, and financials is one of it. Although your partner would have the ego, you would have to find ways to break down your partner's ego. Kalau tak boleh, contohnya, dia nak ajak bercakap tapi dia tak nak bercakap. Why not? Start slow. Ajaklah dia sama-sama. Sayang, jom kita masuk kelas financial ni sama-sama. Start sikit-sikit. Belajar sama-sama. Mana tu dalam kelas tu, betul lah apa dia cakap ni. Boleh tak kita buat macam ni? Cakaplah sikit-sikit. You never know, it might work in the future kan. You start small. You don't have to force the person, right? Now, the other thing that you have to do, right, in regards for marriage, before you get married, is that you also have to check your partner's credit score. This is actually very important if you're planning to buy a house together. Kebanyakan anak muda, when they get married, they actually bought a house together because nowadays, the house price is ridiculous and the fresh graduate salary is also ridiculously low. Okay? So one is ridiculously high, one is ridiculously low. So you can't afford to actually buy a house just based on your own salary. So what you could do is that you could apply for a house together. But in order to do that, you have to check your partner's credit score. You have to make sure your partner credit score is okay. Okay? Sebab kalau tak okay, susah nak apply rumah together nanti. But what happened if tak okay, Abang Fairuz? I check my partner's, oh my God, my partner's credit score is so bad. What can I do? It's very simple. Fix the credit score. A credit score is not a point whereby you have to break up. It's a point whereby you can fix together. Okay? If your partner's credit score is bad, this is when you can do a small project together. How can we fix your partner's credit score? Okay? Find the root cause and fix it together. And then next, of course, you have to discuss about how do you want to budget your life together. This is a couple budgeting. This is something very sensitive. I'm not going to go into it because there's a lot of religion and cultural differences. For example, for my case, I understand the mindset in Malaysia for the ladies, not all, some. Your money is my money is my money, especially bila dah kahwin. I understand that. I agree to a certain extent because my wife treated my pocket as the same way. However, there are ways that you could discuss on how to budget together. For me and my wife, we have a budget together. We actually shared 30% of our expenses to our shared expenses. What does it mean? My expenses and her expenses will combine into one to make it into a shared expenses. What is shared expenses? Is the expenses that we use to bayar duit rumah, bayar duit kereta, bayar duit insurance, bayar duit gym. So all of this is shared expenses that we share together. Okay? So this is, again, couple money management is personal. It's up to you and your partner. Not my method might not work to you, but I'm sharing my experiences so that you could relate to your partner what is the next step that you need to do. And of course, like I was saying, since this is very personal, a joint account is something optional as well. It depends on the couple. Some couple tak suka nak campur adukkan duit, some couples nak separatekan duit. It's fine as long as you tackle money together. Remember, the biggest factor of divorce in Malaysia is not because of relationship issue. It's because 72% is because of financial issue. Tackle money earlier. Okay? Last but not least is about purchasing your first home. Now, you have to understand, when you receive your salary, the bank would give you, depend on the bank, for example, like Maybank would give you up to 60% of your salary for you to afford your first home. Okay? 60% of your salary. So let's calculate this. How much is 60%? If you're earning 3,000 ringgit, if you're earning 3,000 ringgit times 60% of your salary, so the bank would actually allow you to take up to 1,800 ringgit of debt. And that includes your hutang kereta, your hutang rumah. Assuming you tak ada hutang kereta, you nak beli rumah dulu, you can actually take up to 1,800 ringgit worth of monthly installment for the house, which is 60% of your salary. Okay. However, although bank boleh kasih 60% daripada your salary as your house monthly installment, I do not recommend you to do that. Because again, be reminded, imagine if you're paying 60% of your salary for house, you only left with 40%. That's your makan minum, that's the money that you have to give back to your family, that's the money that you have to use to pay your insurance, your savings and investment. It's not going to be enough. So my recommendation is, if you want to buy your first house, do not spend more than 30% of your salary for the house monthly installment. Okay? If you're earning 3,000 ringgit, you only can pay up to 1,000 ringgit. And how much is the price of the house that you can afford? If 1,000 ringgit, you can find a house, tengok berapa banyak yang dia boleh charge you monthly. If they charge you monthly 1,500, then don't go for it. Okay, find some things that within your range. Tapi kalau you dah berkahwin, you ada your husband punya salary or your wife punya salary and yourself, then still maintain within 30% of the salary between you and your partner. Okay, as simple as that. Now, the other thing that you have to bear in mind, banyak property guru outside there also reminded the same thing. It's not enough to just have 10% down payment. Actually, you need to have 15% down payment and 5% miscellaneous fees. Miscellaneous fees ni apa benda? Bila you dah masuk, macam sekarang, I baru masuk rumah baru, tiba-tiba ada cukai pintu kena bayar, cukai tanah kena bayar, lepas tu kena bayar tiba-tiba fire insurance, IWK, tiba-tiba ada legal fee. Ya Allah, sap-sap-soy, tiba-tiba dah 8,000. I was like shocked within a span of 2 months. Okay, so these are the things that you have to bear in mind. It's not just enough 15% down payment, prepare 5% miscellaneous fee. And as a bonus, when you wanted to enter your first house, if you're planning to live there, always prepare more money. Kenapa? I baru masuk rumah. Lepas tu, I baru sedar banyak benda yang kena masukkan dalam rumah. Contohnya television, peti ais, TV. Lepas tu macam contoh toilet tak ada bidet, nak kena beli bidet. Lepas tu tiba-tiba tak ada water heater, kena pasang water heater. So all of these are smaller items yang you tak nampak. Okay, plan out what are the electrical appliances you would need in order to masuk your first home. If some people say that, oh, you boleh kalau nak buat sikit-sikit, you masuk rumah tu kosong, ada tilam sahaja, lepas tu work on it sikit-sikit. Boleh juga, tak ada masalah. It depends on your strategy when you wanted to enter your first home. Alright, simple as that. Last but not least is, remember, once you've already become financially successful, alhamdulillah, remember to always give back to charity. Alright? Give back to charity, as simple as that. Now, as a student, what can you do? You need to, very simple, start tracking. That's something that you can start right now. Create your own budget. Okay, very simple. You can set your life goal. From now on, set your life goal. Okay, set berapa banyak the goals that you wanted to achieve. Bila you nak achieve, what's the financial repercussion? Berapa ringgit you perlu save, by when, how much, set all of that goals. Okay, and you can start from now on, learn how to invest, and remember to clean up your social media. And last but not least is, since we are living in the digital age, learn how to use the digital banking app or any of the financial app digitally. Okay? Okay. Next is that we are going to go ahead into an activity. So this is a session whereby you can win RM20 ringgit worth of Starbucks voucher. Okay, but no, there's a but there. There's only 5 Starbucks voucher for today. Let me show you the activity. The activity is very simple. There are 12 questions on the screen. Out of these 12 number, if you are lucky, if you choose the right number, you will win RM20 ringgit worth of Starbucks voucher. If you are lucky, okay? If you're not lucky, you will win a question that you have to answer to me. All right, as simple as that. Now, do I have my staff in? Fatin, are you in, Fatin? Is Fatin in? Hold on, let me check the participants list. Oh, my stuff is not in. Never mind. Okay. Sorry, I saw her name there. Yeah, she's in. Okay, never mind. So for this activity, anyone can choose a number that they wanted. You can just use is it a raise hand button here, or is it a different kind of button? Let me check it out. Right. Hold on. I'm not accustomed to what is it? To this one, to this app. Okay, so anyone that wishes to give it a try, just unmute yourself and choose one number. Okay, anyone wanted to give it a try?
Question number 5.
Number 5, who's that? Daniel Abbas, is it?
Yes.
Okay, Daniel Abbas, number 5. Yeah, let's see if you can win the Starbucks voucher. You're lucky, yeah. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Let's go. I'm sorry, Daniel. you did not want a Starbucks voucher, but you do want a question from myself. So once you started working, will you be contributing back to your parents? Assuming your salary is 3K, how much you want to give to your parents?
Okay. So the appropriate investment for macam robo-advisor and ESP should be around 1,000, and your self-investment towards your other robo-advisors like Stashaway, Wahid, semua tu, will be about to 500, and then if you want to play crypto, 200. So that would be totaling up to 1,700, and I would give at least about 500 to my family, and the rest for my life savings, emergency savings that supposed to simpan.
Dahsyatnya cara kau kira kan. Kau prioritize kau punya investment dulu, baru kau pergi kat parents kau kan.
Yes, because apa ni, tak kahwin lagi, tak ada rumah lagi, nak buat apa?
No. Don't worry. I'm just joking. You don't have to justify to me the way you wanted to spend your money. Is fine, because I do the same actually.
Faham.
Okay, but I understand where you're coming from. But if I may share kan, Daniel kan, the way you give back to your parents is the same as my wife. Dia kasih lump sum, tapi yearly sampai sekarang the amount is still the same. Tapi apa I buat dengan my parents kan, I cakap to my parents, the moment I dapat my first salary, I told them, I would give my mom, I told her, Ma, I would give you 4% of my salary. Ba, I would give you 4% of my salary. So in total, you will get 8% of my salary. However, every time I've got an increment, and every time I've got a promotion, if I got a promotion of 10%, you would get 10% increment as well, and you also would get 10% increment as well. So that's what I did. I sit down and actually told them that in front of their face. So what happened was that this is the side effect of that. I'm not sure whether it's good or bad. It's entirely up to you to judge. What happened was that I realized they started to pray more for me. Every time I get back home, they were like, Allah, kau berilah lagi banyak lagi promotion kepada anak aku, lagi banyak increment so that aku pun dapat lebih. I'm not sure whether that's good or bad, but I got more praise from them lah.
I mean, I think it's also based on your current situation on your household. If your family doesn't give you that much pressure, you are able to fix to a certain amount of price to them. Yeah.
Betul, I setuju. There are no right or wrong on this, but it depends. Even if you have the intention to give back, it's already a very good gesture already.
Okay. Yes, that's true.
Okay, Daniel, thank you so much. My bad that you cannot win the Starbucks voucher.
Alright, Mr. Fairuz, we actually have so many yang nak answer ni. So the first one is from Ahmad Hafiz. Ahmad Hafiz chose number 9.
Ahmad Hafiz chose number 9. Let's see, yeah. I'm sorry, Ahmad Hafiz. Can you answer the question, Ahmad Hafiz? Unmute your mic. Since you choose number 9, Ahmad Hafiz, what are your thoughts on spending on dates? Is it necessary? Okay, Ahmad Hafiz, unmute your mic, Ahmad Hafiz.
Spending on dates.
Yes.
Okay. Like relationship dates, is it?
Yeah.
Is it necessary? I mean, uh, it depends. Like for me, with my partner, I always like half half. Maybe
Haha.
like maybe like you pay for the petrol and I pay for the food. Something like that.
Right. Okay, so
Because
then, if I may add the question, for first date, who's paying?
first day is me lah. Gentleman what? Gentleman move.
Oh, chivalry, nice. Alhamdulillah, chivalry still exists. Very nice, very nice. But
Yeah.
for me kan, I macam pelik sikit. I tak tahulah, this is just me kan. For my first date kan, I always love the tug of war. The tug of war means that I wanted to pay, tapi I nak my partner to exhibit the show off session whereby dia poyo-poyo nak bayar, tapi at the end of the day I yang bayar.
Understand.
So the jual mahal lah, yeah, correct Michelle, the jual mahal tax. Yeah, I love that session. It's just show that it gives more face to me. So that's just me.
Understand. All right.
Okay, sorry for you not winning, but thank you so much for joining
Okay.
today. So next person.
Next person we have from Renuka Devi. She chose number 7.
Number 7. Let's see, number 7. Oh, I'm sorry. I did not rig this. There are 5 Starbucks cards there. I promise you. But no one wins so far. So, who is it just now? Renuka?
Hi.
So, Renuka, your first car, what's the plan?
Actually, I always dream of buying an Audi, but I don't think so that's possible when I start going to work.
Okay, no, it's fine. Honestly, Renuka, if you have a target, then you just have to find ways to afford your goals, kan?
Yeah. So like most probably, like I told my parents I'll use their car first, and then I'll do all the saving and then buy the Audi.
Yeah, probably that's your method. How much is the Audi price that you are aiming for?
I didn't check anything yet because with this lockdown, I'm not interested in anything so far. So maybe once this lockdown, maybe go to the car Audi workshop like that and see.
Right. So find out how much the car price first, and then decide how you wanted to afford that car. And honestly speaking, Renuka, so I've got one friend of mine. His salary is barely 4,500 ringgit, but he's using a very expensive car. And you know how this friend of mine afforded? He got 10 rental houses, and all of that rental houses is covering for his car. His car is so expensive, and his salary is so little. So find ways on how to afford your car. And one day, if you already afford your car, come and meet me lah. Give me a ride because I'm only using my V.
Sure, no problem.
All right, thank you so much, Renuka. Let's see the next person.
All right, Muhammad Sharon Raj chose 11.
11, yeah? Okay, let's see. Hey, our first Starbucks card voucher of the day.
Thank you.
Okay, Sharon Raj. So yes, my colleague there, Farhana Naqib, you can either DM her or she will DM you. We will deliver the Starbucks card / voucher to your either, I think, WhatsApp or email, because it's a digital voucher. You can claim it at the Starbucks app. Download the Starbucks app, masukkan inside the whole card thing. We will send you the guideline as well. Okay?
Okay, all right.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank
All
you.
right, congratulations. Okay, next, Sao Min Shen chose number 6.
6, let's see number 6. Hey, another Starbucks card. 2% in a row. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm so happy right now.
No problem. DM my colleague, yeah. So Min Shen. Okay. There my colleague Farhana Naqib. All right.
All right, congratulations. Okay, next, Margiana chose number 12.
Number 12. Let's see. I'm sorry. So Mardiana, the question is, are you a lady or are you a gentleman? If you're a lady, this question is nice for you. A man is not a financial plan. Your thoughts?
Oh.
All right. So we have a lady here. Very good question.
I think it's a financial plan. Actually, it depends lah. It depends. Like to me, I think his salary is very important. Like if katakan his salary is like I think around my level of salary, then I think it's a bit of a financial plan. But if he's rich, I mean his salary is like 10K a month, then I guess it's not my financial plan lah.
Right. I think it's very. I think what you're saying is right. When you get married or when you have a partner, of course that partner will be part of your financial plan.
Yeah.
But as a lady, I would suggest for you to have your own independence as well, financially speaking. I'm not the right person to say this. You should find another lady that could empower you financially as well, that could give you the right example. You do not want to depend totally 100% onto that into that man. For example, like me and my wife right now, I am trying to empower her as much as possible to invest, to have more insurance. Oh, sorry. Right. So that's something that you have to secure yourself with. So do not depend 100% into a man, because, in case anything happened to that person, you would not have the financial capability or the knowledge to actually secure yourself. Right. Okay. Yeah. So don't worry. If you found the right person, always include the person into your plan. All right.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Welcome.
Okay. Next, we have Alia Nadira, and she chose number 2.
Number 2. Okay, let's see. Number 2. Do you think credit card is bad? I'm sorry. So I don't know why not many people are getting the Starbucks card. Do you think credit card is bad, and why?
Hi.
Hi.
Do you think credit card is bad? I don't think so, because as you have just shared just now, it opened my mind about how credit card can actually benefit you and help you earn money.
Right. What you're saying is right. But again, it all depends on your discipline. So if you know yourself, right? If you know yourself, for example, you're an avid an avid shopping person. You like to shop on Shopee. Even with a debit card, you can't control yourself already. Then don't take a credit card. If you already know yourself to that extent, for example, like my wife here, who's sleeping right now, is pretending not to hear. She likes to shop on Shopee, but the way I make sure that she doesn't shop a lot, because I know she shops a lot, is that I make sure that she spends using my credit card. So I've always know if she spent any of the money that we have together. So this is not a good way, a good sample for everyone. You do not want to control your wife like that, but I'm trying to make sure that she doesn't spend too much of our money. Right. Again, so if you have the right discipline, if you know your own discipline, then always find the right financial tools. If you know that you don't have the discipline, then don't go for a credit card. All right. Okay, next person. Thank you so much, Alia Nadira.
All right, so next we have Priya, and she chose number 8.
Number 8. Hey, you won a Starbucks card. Congrats.
Thank you.
All right, no problem. So just DM my staff, or my staff will actually DM you after this.
All
How many
right.
numbers do we have left? Yeah, I think we don't have a lot already.
Yeah, not much, but dekat dalam chat box ni got another 2.
Okay, let's try another 2%.
Okay, so Nur Khairina chose number 1.
Number 1, let's see. I'm sorry. You want a question. The question is, which one of this is a decision that you would take first? Is it marriage, car, or home first?
For me, it is always going to be home, because somehow you need a shelter. But car is kind of like macam lenient. If you don't get to buy a new first hand car, my father would always say, during your first car you can try second hand, because it is less maintenance, and also you would appreciate it when it has a lot of problems. You can learn from it, so that when you get a brand new car, you know what to do when it breaks down, right? So and then marriage, I think I would like put my occupation first. So to build marriage, you have to like have stable financial, but then so like work first and then kumpul duit for marriage. So when you want to work, you have to have home, right? So for me, it is home and then car and then marriage.
Right. Right. I think there are no right or wrong on this, but I'm quite interested with your answer. For example, like my case is the same as well. It's home first, and then car, and then marriage. But there's a but there. Yeah? So because of my own decision of buying a home first, and then car, and then when I have the financial capability, I baru nak kahwin. I kahwin lambat. I kahwin literally 1 month later, I'm going to be 30 years old. So that's when I got married. 29 years old and 11 months. So it's slightly later lah. So that's the cons of it if you decided to pick marriage as the last thing. Again, there are no right or wrong with this. You can choose marriage first, but then, you wanted to pursue after a home together with your partner. It's something doable as well. There's no right or wrong. Tapi itulah, it's quite interesting to know as well. Why do you choose marriage as one of your last option, yeah, Karina? It's because of financials, is it?
I'm not sure. It's just macam mana cakap
Is it no partner yet?
I do have, but the thing is like that stuff could be macam mana? You can jadi, you cannot jadi, but somehow you still need to work. You still have to shelter. By home I mean I didn't mean like home yang macam established tau. Home yang I mean my first home to get into. So macam I want to plan better for that. It doesn't have to be a grand house and things. Yeah.
Right. Oh, I think based on just having this session with you, I can understand that you've already have quite a good plan in your head and you already know what you wanted. And that's very rare among anak-anak muda. And I think you are on the right path here. Just make the right decision whenever you wanted to buy your first house and your first car. Yeah. So yeah, I wish you good luck. I think you got very good solid plan there. Just make sure that kalau tiba-tiba plan tu dia lari sikit, don't be disappointed. Because honestly speaking, although I cakap dengan you, I beli rumah dulu, kereta dulu, lepas tu baru marriage. Tapi honestly, when I was 25 years old, I was trying to get married. Tapi tak jadi. Lepas tu bila tak jadi tu, I frustrated. I decided nak kerja kuat. Lepas tu, buy my first house. And that's when I decide I kahwin lambat sikit. Right. But again, don't be disappointed on whatever things that happen in life. You remember, life is a marathon. Always take your time and, enjoy life as it is. All right?
Okay, thank you.
All right, good luck. Okay, let's have one final person. Anyone? Tak ada dah?
All right, next we have Hani Udina.
What number is it?
Number 3.
Number 3, one last one. Let's see. Yay! Starbucks card. Congratulations. Who was it?
Yay, thank you.
Okay, no problem. So my staff will DM you or you can DM my staff kalau tak ada orang DM.
Alright, thank you.
Okay. So let's see the question. So this is the first question. This is the second one. The third one, Starbucks voucher, which Hani Irina won just now. And then we have the fourth one. Number 6 is the Starbucks card. Number 8 is the Starbucks card. Number 10 is the Starbucks card. And number 11 is the Starbucks card. So we have 5 Starbucks card, like I promised. Each Starbucks card is worth of RM20 ringgit. All right. So next is the Q&A session. But before we head on into the Q&A session, if you are interested in registering for the May app for the expense tracking feature that I've mentioned, use the invite code MAYYouth, right? Because now there's a competition running. So if you win the competition, not competition like if you're lucky, then you can win a PS5. Okay, just use the invite code MAYYouth. Right? Okay, now we can go on to the short iklan. Now we can go to the next session, which is the Q&A. All right?
Yes, the Q&A. So if anyone has any questions, you can just turn on your mic. Or also leave it on in the chat box lah. But right now we have one question in the chat box. It's from Madiana. So She's asking, my parents enjoy investing in property, so they help me invest in this one condominium. They help me pay the down payment and whatever fees and installment that needs to be paid until I'm financially stable. Do you think it's a wise choice for me to invest in property at this age?
If I were you, I would be thankful to your parents lah. Because it's already quite a free money there. Okay. Let me say this. I'm in the same situation as well, Mardiana. But there is pros and cons for this. I wanted you to understand the pros and the cons as well. Right. For me, for my case, this is not for your case. For my case, when I was 25 years old, my mother wanted to buy another place, which by she can't use her own name to buy that place is because she's already 50 plus years old and the bank cannot give her a loan because dah tua sangat. Okay, so she uses my name to buy a house. Okay, she pay off the down payment, she pay off the property while I was still not working, and then when I was working, I had to pay for myself lah. And then Alhamdulillah, honestly speaking, I'm quite thankful for her to be that accommodating. However, the cons at that point of time, I did not see the cons until I bought my second home. I see the issue. Okay, it's because, for example, right, the issue that I saw once I wanted to buy my second home, I'm not eligible for a lot of the program that the government are giving out. Okay, because a lot of the program that the government are giving out is for first home buyers. Okay, macam contoh HOC, lepas tu apa lagi? There's a lot lah. HOC scheme rumah pertamaku. I cannot take this scheme, although I'm a first time home buyer. Technically, officially I'm not a first home buyer because my mom already used my name, but I can't join lah this program. And this program actually give a lot of benefit. You tak bayar this fee, tak payah bayar that fee, tak payah bayar a lot of fees. So it's actually a lot of discount if you take this government program, government schemes. But yeah, so that's the only cons that I saw so far. Honestly speaking, that's the only cons that I saw so far. So because of that cons, I have to pay a bit extra for my second home. Okay, for my second place, which is the one I'm currently in. So yeah, so that's the only cons. However, your question is it a stable choice? Honestly, the earlier you start, the better. Doesn't matter if it's property or any other investment, or maybe crypto, unit trust, robo-advisor. The earlier you start, the better. Because the earlier you start, the more that you are going to be taking the benefits in the future. Okay, as simple as that. Okay, don't worry. I think you did a good job. All right.
Thank you. All right. Okay.
All right. Awesome.
So we have some questions from the registration form, but before that, there was one question at the beginning of our session.
Right.
She asked if the slides will be shared, the slides that you showed us.
I can share you the slides to the committee. I can share you the reading material. Don't worry. I'll make it, because right now the slide have a lot of GIF. I'm going to remove all the GIF, make it the simple PDF deck to share with the committee.
All right. Also, just to let our participants know, this session will be uploaded on our YouTube channel, so you can also watch there lah.
Hello.
So that's an option.
Mr. Fairuz, I have a question.
Yes, hi.
You mentioned earlier that one of your friends had the salary of 4.5k per month, right? And he's having a few rental houses.
Yeah.
Okay, how did he do that?
Oh, how did he do that? Okay, so there's a number of ways that you can do this, right? So one of the way that he did this, earlier on, right, the regulation in the property segment is quite different than nowadays. Nowadays is a bit more strict. In order for you to afford a certain loan also is a lot more strict compared to the last couple of years, right? So one of the way that he did was that when he first bought his first home, he actually rent out his home. So when he started to rent out his first home, then he started to collect more money, and then he's able to afford his second home as a down payment, and then he started to rent out his second home, and then he repeat the process. Even right now, some of his home that doesn't have any owners, he refinanced that home. He wanted to sell it out so that he can get a big chunk of the profit from that refinancing from that selling back. So that's how he actually did it. He He bought the place, he rented out. He bought the place, he rented out. So from what he told me, some of his rental doesn't actually give him 100%. Right. Some of them actually give out more. So the older house that he already have, he actually make profit out of it because by time he's able to increase the rental, and then the rental is paying the profit that he's getting there is more than the amount that he's paying to the bank. However, some of the house actually the recent houses is something that usually the profit is a lot lesser than the monthly installment. So it depends. Not every rental houses you will get profit, right? Some rental houses, for example, especially nowadays during MCO, if you rent out your place, for example, like my place, right? I'll give you an example, my place. So my place right now, the monthly amount that I have to pay for this house is more than 2,000 ringgit. If you were to rent this place, it's 1,400 ringgit. It's better to rent here than to buy this place. However, again, there's pros and cons of buying and renting. I'm not going to go into that. So that's what my friend did. And my friend is a lot older than me. So he does this for a long while. He's already gotten the profit, and all of the profit is channeled back to his car. And bear in mind, so when you have this rental income, not all of this rental income is, I would say, is certified by the bank, or is something that the bank would actually look at. So, for example, if you're earning 1,000 ringgit from your rental income, the bank would probably take 80% of that rental income as part of your official income, right? So he got like more than 10 houses. So all of this rental income, 80% of those is considered part of his income, although his real income is only 4,500. Do I answer your question, So
No, you can just call me Minshan. Yeah.
Yeah, Minshan, sorry. Sorry, yeah.
Okay.
Do I answer your question?
Yes.
Yeah. Are you planning to venture into the property market? Yeah. So
I don't think we all can afford this these days because you mentioned that your friend is much older than you, and yeah, I think back in older days it's possible, but right now I don't think so.
Actually, it is possible. Even if I actually take a look at my friend's portfolio, right? So this is something just for me to share with you guys, right? Honestly speaking, my friend makes money not with the expensive houses. Almost all of his houses, right? His portfolio is within the price of the maximum of the house price that he actually had is 200,000. The rest is all like 150, 100,000. It's really some really dodgy houses. I tell you, it's really some dodgy houses. Even when I heard the addresses, it really is some dodgy place. But he can make money via this method. If you're willing to do so, there are ways for you to make money in the property world. But I would suggest for IUMW Finance Club to invite property expert to actually come and give you a talk on property, how to make money via rental income. So that would be good as well. All right, Minshan?
All right, thanks.
All right, no problem.
All right, so we've got actually 4 questions from the registration form. The first question is how to manage your personal savings when you really want to get your needs but also want to save money.
I am a bit stumped with the question. How to manage your personal savings when you really want to get your needs but also want to save? As a human being, of course, you would prioritize your needs first, right? So needs is defined as something that you can't live without. If you can't live without this thing, why are you prioritizing savings? That doesn't make sense, right? For example, if you you mentioned that needs. If I were to have a choice whether hari ni I nak makan nasi ataupun I nak save 20 ringgit, I would choose makan nasi. Always prioritize your needs. You do not want to prioritize your saving. It's as simple as that. Okay, but let me say this. You have to understand, saving and investing for some people is a luxury. Okay, for some people this is a luxury, especially people that earn less than 2,000 ringgit. Saving, investing is a luxury. Okay, why is it a luxury? Because if you can't afford the needs, your own needs, how are you planning to save? Doesn't matter how many personal finance sessions that you have. If you don't increase your income, you wouldn't be able to save. That's as simple as that. That's the truth of it, the reality of it. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you that times are hard. Times are really hard. Having a personal finance session is good. It's good to build awareness. It's good to build knowledge. But if you don't have the standard or the minimum amount of requirement, you can't even practice this personal finance knowledge that you acquire. Okay, remember that. So that's something that you have to understand. The root cause of you not being able to save, okay, if you have to prioritize your need, the root cause is your income. And the solution is increase your income. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, you have to understand. Again, savings is very much a luxury if you don't earn a lot, right?
All right, so the next question, what are the types of investment platforms are you currently focused on?
Actually, a lot now. I'm not sure whether I don't want to share my portfolio right now because it's quite PNC to me. Now, but I can tell you verbally where do I actually invest. Since I started 5 years ago, I tried out all of the investment platform that Malaysia has to offer. When I say all, I literally experimented almost all the platform. So I tried out peer-to-peer lending. I tried out equity crowdfunding. I have cryptocurrencies. I have robo-advisors, unit trusts. So I have futures. So I have options. So quite a lot of. Even those young non-Sharia compliant, I tried it out just to have a look on how does the investment work. So, but the main one that I'm currently on, that I currently enjoy, number one is gold. Right, number one is gold. So I have quite a large amount in gold, and then I have quite a large amount in robo-advisors as well. But robo-advisors, if I may be honest, more than 30% of my money in robo-advisor is not my money. It's the referral money because I promote that app, and then somehow I got a lot of money from that app. So it's not, a lot of it is not my money. It's a referral money. Alhamdulillah, it's something that I'm quite thankful for. Robo-advisors, and then thirdly, I have a lot in ASB as well. Honestly, I have a lot in ASB because ASB doesn't have any risk. For the Bumiputra, you have to remember, ASB is considered low risk, and among the low risk investment, ASB is the most famous with almost zero risk because it's backed by the government. So if you don't want to utilize something that's backed by the government, that's almost considered free money, then I don't know what to say. Okay. Fourthly, I have Tabung Haji. Tabung Haji is not a lot. Tabung Haji I have very minimal. I only put 1,300 ringgit to qualify myself to queue for Haji. Okay. If you wanted to go for Haji one day, you have to put in minimum 1,300 ringgit for you to queue. Okay, for you to queue. Once you already put in 1,300 ringgit, you can focus in for the rest of the other investment. Okay, so that's what I did as well. I letak RM1,000, lepas tu I invest kat tempat lain. Okay, and then next, what else do I have? So I mentioned robo-advisor, ASB. I have unit trust. So unit trust is something that I invest with my wife. So it's our investment funds together. Okay, it's our shared investment funds. And then did I mention crypto? I think I did. So I did not. So I can't remember. So I have crypto, and then last but not least, I have a bit on peer-to-peer. So peer-to-peer, I don't have much anymore. I'm transferring out peer-to-peer to cryptocurrency because right now cryptocurrency, I did not make a lot of money. I did not put a lot of money, but I've gained a lot of money from there. So every time I gain, I take it out, and then I started to invest in a in a crypto that's deep. So the further they deep, the more I buy. All right. So that's the investment that I'm on.
All right. So next, is there any key points for youth to learn capital management?
Is there any key points for youth to learn capital management? I'm gonna say this, honestly, in terms of capital management, I myself am not an expert on it. But what I did was that in order to effectively manage two things, effectively manage my money, I crafted, like I said, budgeting, right? I crafted my own budget on how to make sure my money is well spent. So that is in regards for my expenses, for my savings, for my, all aspect of life. And secondly, in terms of my investment, what I did was that I crafted my own Excel template that actually showcase all of the investment that I have and the amount of the investment that I have in each of these investment funds, and how much is the current price versus how much I've already invested in. So there are no really key points. Again, personal finance is something very, very, very personal to you. Everyone have different way of understanding their investment and understanding their needs. So you have to craft things to your own need, all right?
Okay, so next we have, what financial mistake has given you the biggest lesson?
The biggest financial mistake I made is in the stock market. The first year I graduated, without any emergency funds, I put all my life savings into the stock market. It was the first year I invested. I think it was the first 6 months I invested. So I have roughly around 7,000 ringgit at that point of time. It was very much a small amount. I put in the stock market. I put in one company only, and I don't have any emergency savings. One company, and then the company went down. I lose almost 90% of my money in the stock market. There's a lot. It's a big life lesson for me. From there on, when I lost almost 90%, I took out the money, and then I started back again. But then I started learning about financial literacy. I started build my emergency fund, and I started reinvesting again. And I put more effort into researching the type of company I wanted to invest in. So that's the reason why I enjoyed things like, for example, like robo-advisor or unit trust, because there are other people that help you manage your money for you. So you don't have to think about your money because other people are managing your money. And I enjoyed, for example, like currently, like cryptocurrency, is because it's uncharted, all right? So that's something nice. But again, you have to put a lot of research into it before, before you started to invest in anything. So in my case, I did not have emergency funds, and I invest blindly without researching into anything, because at that point of time, I thought I was good enough. Okay, because I had the ego. I'm not gonna lie to you. At that point of time, I thought I had a big, I really had a big ego at that point of time, because I was working in a bank. I thought that, if you're working in a bank, you're going to be better than the rest, because you're a banker, you're going to, you know how to read the chart better, you know how to do this better, but it's not. Okay, so that ego really, really, really pulled me down, and I learned a big life lesson from there. So that's when I started to really, really research on anything that I invested in. Okay.
All right, so Daniel Abbas asks, rates. To be honest, I also don't know what rates is. So what's rates?
Oh, REITs. So REITs is real estate investment trust. So real estate investment trust. So if you are interested in investing in property, there are two very famous ways for you to invest in properties, right? Number one is either you buy a physical house and then you rent it out, and then you get income from the rental. Right. So that's the common way. Like if you go to TikTok ke apa ke, oh, that's the common way lah. Buy a house, rent it out. Buy a house, rent it out. Problem is, if you buy a house and then you rent it out, for example, like my case, in my house, imagine if you buy my place, you have to pay 2,000 ringgit, and then the rental is only 1,004. You are on negative 600 ringgit every month. You're not going to make any profit. So that's one way to earn income, is either you buy physically, you earn rental income. The second method is known as REITs, Real Estate Investment Trust. So Real Estate Investment Trust is that you are investing in a real estate company. For example, right? Imagine there is a company known as KLCC REITs. So KLCC REIT manage 3 buildings only. So KLCC REIT manage KLCC itself. So imagine this company that manages KLCC, how many shops there are in KLCC? There are hundreds of shops and hundreds of companies that actually are occupying the building, right? So when they occupy the building, they have to pay rental. They have to pay rental to this organization that actually own the building. So that's what REITs is. So this organization that actually collect rental, they would actually distribute back this rental income to their investor. So that's what REIT is. Okay, so basically it's a company that manages this big buildings whereby they collect rental and they distribute back their profit back to their investor. And it's actually a regulated industry in Malaysia. So the REITs industry in Malaysia, they actually have to distribute back their profit, 90% of their profit back to their investor. I actually invested in REITs as well. I invested in As-Salam REITs. So what is As-Salam REITs? They are the owner of the building that KFC and Pizza Hut actually occupy. So the more franchise KFC and Pizza Hut have, the more rental income this company will get, this As-Salam company will get. The more rental income As-Salam company will get, the more dividend I will receive. Okay, it's as simple as that because I invested in As-Salam REITs. Okay, so that is REITs. Another option if you wanted to invest in property and it doesn't cost you a lot. So REITs is very special because you can start as low as, well, 100 ringgit. You can start very, very low. But you need to create a stockbroking account and then you can search REITs. Okay, do a research about what REIT is. It definitely will help you out. All right.
All right. So actually, Daniel Alba's question was he's actually curious if you invest in REITs or not. So I think we get the question. We get the answer already. You do invest in REITs. So we have another question from Muhammad Sharanraj. He said, I invest in virtual items such as CSGO and Dota 2. What are your thoughts?
I don't have any experience on this. I'm assuming you are saying that you buy this limited edition item and then you started selling it back via the game itself. For example, if you buy certain, I honestly speaking, I done this, but not through Dota and CSGO. Yeah, I done this, but not with that. This is my experience when I was back, I think a couple of years back. I think it was the first year that I started working. So I played this game called Marvel. What is it called? Realm of Champion, Champion Realms or something. I can't remember. It's a mobile game. So my level is maxed out, and then the equipment is really good. I got a lot of Marvel superheroes on the app because I spent a lot of time into it. A lot of people actually wanted to buy my account. Right, some of them wanted to buy certain heroes that's available in my account. So I'm able to actually sell those virtual items or virtual characters. So that's something that I did. Honestly, whatever you wanted to do, I've never played CS. I played Dota, but not Dota 2. If you wanted to sell your virtual item, go ahead, man. I think because I've done this through the Marvel app, and honestly, when I sold my account, I got like 1,500 ringgit from it because the account was really, really good. I stopped playing, but I got 1,500 out of it. So, yeah.
All right. So I think that's all the questions that we have from our participants. I think that's the end of our Q&A session. But everyone, please hold on for a bit because we want to get like a group picture together. Okay. So everyone can switch on their camera for the photo session. All right. Okay, everyone ready? On my count, yeah? 1, 2, 3. Okay, one more. 1, 2, 3. Okay, last one, freestyle. 1, 2, 3. All right, thank you so much. Okay, so to all our participants, please hold on for a minute. We'll be sharing the QR code for our e-certificate in a short while, yeah? For Mr. Aizo, thank you so much. On behalf of IUMW Finance Club, would would like to really thank you for being here with us today, for sharing so much information with us today. I learned so much. I think like financially, I'm going to improve a lot from your talk. Yeah.
Right. Thank you so much for inviting me. If you wanted to invite me for any of the session next one, you can just contact my my IG, my Instagram, my TikTok, or you can just contact me on my personal email as well.
Yes. Do you have LinkedIn, Mr. Fairuz?
Yes, I do have.
Yes. So
You can contact me via LinkedIn as well. Correct. You can contact me via LinkedIn. Muhammad Fairuz Izwan bin Basri at LinkedIn. If at TikTok, IG, or Twitter, M Fairuz Izwan.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Fairuz.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm going to be exiting now. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Fairuz.
All right, everyone. So you can claim your e-certificate from the QR code. There's also a link in the chat box for you to claim. Don't forget to follow our IUMW Finance Club Instagram account. We are also open for new members to join. So if you want to join our club, you can contact me directly, or you can go head over to our Instagram account. We have a membership fee of RM 10 ringgit per annum, which is a year. All right. So this is the QR code for you to register as a member. And I'm pretty sure there's also a link in the chat box for you to click and register as a member. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today, and we hope to see you in our next event. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.